I'm Priya. I'm from the School of Public Health, and I am going to kick this info session off. I am representing the entire Big Give Steering Committee and subcommittees and everyone who provided input into this process, and I think there's a slide at the end that names everyone in person. So I will just jump in by thanking everyone for coming. Pam and I were just reflecting earlier that it's really all of campus coming together that makes Big Give so exciting and so powerful and so impactful. So thanks for coming, and we're looking forward to another exciting Big Give this year. And I am supposed to remind you now that as everyone walked in the door, you should have signed in and also gotten a survey, which you can fill out and drop on the desk in the back as you leave. Okay, so Big Give basics. What is the Big Give? I think everyone knows, but the Big Give is an online 24-hour day of giving, which units and student groups from across campus can participate in. The day of the Big Give engagement is driven through a major social media push and a variety of contests online for everyone to participate in. And even in advance of the Big Give, fundraisers work to secure launch gifts so that we can start the day with exciting dollar totals and high energy. And we're going to talk more about all of those aspects of the Big Give as we go through the presentation. So when is the Big Give? In the past 3 years, we've held the Big Give in November to coincide with the big game. But this year, after lots of deliberation and seeking input from stakeholders across campus, we have decided that the Big Give will be moving to the spring. So the official hours for the Big Give this year will be 9 p.m. Wednesday, March 7th through 9 p.m. Thursday, March 8th. And we believe that fundraising totals will remain strong. We believe we can still drive campus-wide engagement in the spring. And we actually believe that the donor experience will be improved with the move to the spring. But at the end of the day, it's a bit of an experiment, so we'll see how it goes. When are launch gifts? So as I mentioned before, in addition to the day of activities on March 7th and 8th surrounding the Big Give, the opportunity exists to secure launch gifts in advance of the day itself so that we can start the day with money already on the leaderboards. So with the shift in timing of the Big Give to the spring, the new window for securing those launch gifts will be November 1st through February 16th. And we'll talk more about the details of launch gifts as well. Okay, why is Big Give a big deal? So we've talked about the fact that not only does Big Give raise money on the day of the Big Give itself, but that the opportunity exists to secure these launch gifts, which is a tool for fundraisers in closing major gifts. We believe that Big Give also helps educate donors about the power of philanthropy, especially at a time of declining state funding, and it really drives an increase in online engagement. But what I think is most exciting about the Big Give, and we as a steering committee looked at a lot of data from over the past 3 years, what I think is really exciting and powerful is the effectiveness of Big Give at acquiring new donors and reaching younger alumni donors. So I just wanted to share a little bit of data about that with you. First-time donors made up about 20% of all Big Give donors since its inception 3 years ago. And the total is almost 5,000 new donors acquired through the Big Give over those 3 years. Most importantly, those new donors are renewing year over year at far higher rates than non-Big Give donors. So more than 40% of new donors acquired through the Big Give renew the following year versus about 26% of non-Big Give new donors. And in terms of reaching younger alumni, almost 50% of Big Give alumni donors last year graduated in 2000 or later, and actually a full 30% graduated in 2010 or later. So the power of Big Give really seems to lie in its ability to reach first-time donors and younger alumni who will become loyal donors that give year after year. Okay, and finally, we thought we would just share the total gifts and total dollars that we raised in each of the last 3 years. In 2016, we raised, as you can see, 9,672 gifts, totaling $11.7 million. And that was 19% more gifts and more than twice as many dollars as we raised in 2015. So this support, obviously, as you know, provides vital resources for students, faculty, and researchers across campus. And we're looking forward to an even bigger Big Give this year. So I'm now, I think, going to turn it over to Mary, who's going to talk a little bit about the contests and social media.
Hi there, I'm Mary. I work on the contests and want to tell you that they are a catalyst because they offer free prize money. And they'll be much like last year. So we'll give you an overview here, and there will be a handout at the back with much more detail. The big slice leaderboard, the top one you see up there, is about revenue, and it works like this. If your program secures 10% of the total raised, it wins 10% of the prize money. So this inspires large gifts. Then the Big Bang, the next one down, is about participation. The top 10 performers win, and for this, the number of gifts matters, not the size. The Big Countdown offers incentives throughout the day. We sometimes call it the hourly contests. It's freshened up each year, so check it out. A partial draft of this year's hourly contest is in the handout at the back, and the full and final list will be out in mid-January. It includes social media contests, and for those, you would need to register a hashtag in advance, and the link to register your hashtag is on Eureka Now. There's one new contest this year. You'll see it up there, Go Big for student groups. It's based on the number of gifts, not revenue, and the student groups must register with the lead center in advance to participate. An email is going out to all of them on Monday, and they need to register by October 6th, which is about 2.5 weeks away. And different from a student groups board that we had last year, the giving to this student group board can come from students, but also from alums, parents, and friends. That's it for contests.
Hey everyone. I actually had a dream, and in my dream, the content that I gave you guys was so powerful, you guys all started taking notes. So what I'm going to be talking about is how to promote Big Give. So first, can everybody raise their hands? Who's started to think about how they're going to promote Big Give? Okay, great, thank you. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be sharing best practices. So last year after the Big Give, we did a survey, and we really pay attention to the survey. So we got a lot of best practices that we'll be sharing. The first thing that we really want to make sure that everybody does is that they make sure that they tell all their constituents, internal and external to campus, to make sure that they know that Big Give has moved. So on the marketing toolkit, there's actually the new logo with the date, and then there's also some of the language that we're using, which is save the date, Big Give is coming back on March 8th, 2018. Okay. So in terms of the best practices, so these are best practices. So as I walk through them, you guys just might be thinking, so what of these best practices would work with my unit? So the first one is consider designating a point person for the Big Give for your group. Now, if you're the only fundraiser in your unit, well then tag you're it. If you are that person that's the only person in your group that's a fundraiser, then you'll want to stay for the next session, which is the small shop for Big Give. But establishing the point person is very successful, and at the annual Giving Roundtable, Eve Cohen was delighting us with tales on how she used Big Give and being the point person to actually motivate people. She set up contests, they worked on setting goals, she kept everybody motivated. It's also a great way to make sure that all your tactics and plans are integrated and they're all aligned. And you also, when you have your staff meetings, this person can bring all the information from the info sessions. And if you assign a point person, then only one person really needs to come to these info sessions too, because then they can bring all the information back. Okay, the second is something that Priya mentioned, which is that fundraisers and Big Give can really help you close gifts. And so working with your prospect development analyst to determine which prospects, before the event? Okay, here we go. So work with your prospect development analyst and figure out which prospects are in the right part of the solicitation cycle, and also which prospects really want you guys to have a good showing on Big Give Day. Another tactic that was reported as very successful is working with your board. So sharing with your board your unit strategy, your goals, and of course, the most important part, asking them to also participate. In terms of messaging and communications, Big Give is really a great way to increase the need for your constituency to give back. We suggest weaving Big Give messaging throughout all your communications. Look through your website, newsletter, stewardship, your email signatures, whatever is going out there to the public, put Big Give on it. And also, we really recommend starting the communications right away in September and October, and then really hitting it hard in January and February before Big Give. Okay, so email strategy. So the email strategy is very important. So at the back, we have handouts for everybody that has the schedule for the emails, and you'll see that we left some really good slots open for units to be able to send emails. So the emails are important because you could drive your donors directly to your giving fund, to a giving page with your fund open. So you'll see at the back there's the email marketing toolkit, and it has a schedule. And also, we also ask everybody does this, and it's really important. So on day of Big Give, everybody's going to be sending out emails, and hopefully units will send out one before, one on the day of, and maybe a stewardship email after. But there's language that we hope everybody uses on the email because the donors are going to be receiving so many emails. We ask that everybody uses language that's in the toolkit, which is basically, you may be receiving multiple emails, please forgive us, it's for Big Give, it's for a good cause. Okay. There's actually one thing that's also new with the email strategy this year. So donors whose complete launch gifts are with gift services by the deadline of February 16th, they will receive fewer Campus Big Give emails. We'll be able to do this because if we have the gifts by February 16th, then we'll have the time to remove them off of our campus email list. So if we have their launch gifts by the complete date of February 16th, they will receive one email before, they will receive one email on the day of, and they will also receive one after Big Give. Okay, so for social media strategy, the social media strategy really helps drive awareness of the importance of giving back to Berkeley. So we'll be publishing the final contest in January, and there will also be the social media contest. You'll want to understand the contest, and you'll also want to understand the theme that Stephanie and Keegan will be sharing you in a couple of minutes. But remember, the social media contests and Big Give, the contests are all great and important, but what the social media does is it amplifies the message of philanthropy at Cal. And there's a big, huge marketing and PR push on Big Give Day, so you really want to be out there promoting it on social media so that you can take advantage of it as well. So for your social media strategy, you really want to find a social media maven within your unit, somebody that's very familiar and knows social media, so that they can amplify Big Give on the day for your unit. Okay, like last year, on the day of, there's going to be a student event, Big Give Live. We'll be sharing details of that shortly, but it's a really good way to increase awareness of philanthropy with students. So we all know that when students are here, we want to make sure that they understand philanthropy so that when they leave and are alumni, that they're more inclined to give. So the more student groups you can get involved, and then the more they try to fundraise, the more they'll understand fundraising and philanthropy, and the more they'll be inclined to give back. So we really encourage you all to try to get your student groups engaged in the student group contest. And planning an event at your location is also a best practice. It could be a simple table with a computer and the free I gave stickers that you can order from UDAR. It could also be a table. Some people also had treats, and some people use the Cinnabon strategy, where you try to get some treats that waft out these wonderful odors so that people will come and it'll entice people to your table. Another good strategy is ordering the postcards that we will be providing from UDAR. So those are also free, and you can have those at your table, and then you can have students sign them and say, thank you, donors, your donations to Big Give makes it possible for me to have this wonderful Cal experience. And so that's great. So first of all, it's free for you as a unit, and it's a twofer, right? The students then understand a little bit more about philanthropy, and then the donors also get this wonderful donor stewardship postcard. Okay, so those are like some of the tactics before. On Big Give Day, it's really just a matter of deploying all your plans. So sending out your emails, sending out the social media, but you also really want to be monitoring your social media. So you'll be wanting to check out hashtag CalBigGive and hashtag your unit, and you'll want to look for posts from your donors, and you'll want to share or tweet them out. If you win a contest, great news, tweet that out. If you have a goal and you want to share the goal and how you're coming along in the day, if you keep on posting in the middle of the day, it really helps keep the energy up. So really, on the day of, the social media strategy is so key. Okay. After the event, it's really a matter of thanking the donors. It's a matter of thanking them and sharing with them why their donations and how their donations are going to make a difference. So you'll actually want to have this queued up before, and you'll want to have a sort of a case, your case of gratitude for them. So your gifts make the Cal student experience possible. The researchers at Berkeley and the faculty, all that you're helping support. So you'll want to have that ready. And you'll also want to have like other stewardship plans. So, like if you had the postcards, if you had the students sign the postcards, how are you going to deploy those? If you don't have enough for all donors, who's going to get them? Your largest donors, your young alumni, whatever. So after, it's just really the matter of fact of making sure that the donors had a good experience, they understand why they gave, and they understand how it's going to impact your unit. Okay, so I saw a couple of you taking notes, but in case you didn't, this is actually going to be on the marketing toolkit so that you guys can see later. And now I'm going to turn it over to Stephanie and Keegan, our marketing lead and marketing designer, and they're going to unveil the theme and the marketing toolkit that they've been dreaming up for you all.
Hello, everyone. So that was Pam Chan, if you didn't know. She didn't introduce herself, but most of you probably know Pam. I'm Stephanie Kalem. This is my colleague Keegan Hauser from UDAR Marcom. I also had a dream last night about this presentation, and mine involved a belated bat mitzvah and not knowing my Haftorah, so I think yours was better because mine's definitely not going to happen. So how many folks are new to Big Give? All right, cool. That's great. It's great to see new faces. It's great to bring you guys into the fold. So some of you who have been on board in previous years may have tracked that our branding has increased in complexity over the years. And it's been successful and it's been wonderful and people have loved it, but this year we decided to go back to basics with some simplicity for a lot of reasons, and not the least of which is that we are moving the date, so we have a lot to communicate. And another reason is that we wanted it to be a brand that was simple enough to play well with our upcoming sesquicentennial brand, 150th brand, which is 2018, and that is Fiat Lux, the light of California. Is that right?
150 years of
150 years of light. So we wanted something that would play well with that. So what we're doing is the big moment. And as you'll see above, these are some not final, but pretty close to final web banners for the various website phases. The pre-event phase, which officially begins with the robust website on February 1st, but which you can push this messaging out starting as soon as you get back to your desk. And that's Seize the Moment. And then the day of, we're going to be pushing out Now is the Moment. And then for the thank you phase, That was momentous, which it certainly will be. Oops, I meant to turn my page, sorry. So some of the supporting text that we're going to be offering people to make sure the fundraising message is include a lot of stuff about how your support makes Berkeley moments possible. Your gift makes more moments like these possible. We're really going to be emphasizing what is unique about your Berkeley experience, and then how can you pay it forward so that those Berkeley experiences continue to exponentially grow. So here's something we're hoping some of you will do. And Keegan, I'm going to hand this over to you for a little while.
Sure. So this is a design and photography technique called knolling. And here in a minute, Stephanie can give you a little bit of background on knolling. So the picture that you see, the black and white one with the lovely bear saying hello, that's actually from a Cal student. She is a mathematics major, and her knoll, this is at the beginning of the school year, and wanting to tell everybody hello. So it's a nice little illustration of a bear. And the other image is a knoll that I created, and you can use anything Cal related. My grandfather went to Cal, so I've included some of the objects in this knoll related to him, as well as my my first Berkeley sweatshirt. So knolling can be used in several ways. We were thinking for the units to illustrate fun objects that bring up moments for different units on campus. For example, College of Chemistry could use a beaker or a microscope or several different objects. School of Optometry could use some glasses, some optometry objects. Anyways, it can be used in several ways. And in fact, California, the current issue of California Magazine, even though they may have not known it, is a bug knoll on the cover. So it's something fun that we thought that each object can represent a moment of that school or college's time here at Berkeley. And be forewarned that knolling may attract cats. So.
Yes, and if you're allergic to cats, then definitely don't make a knoll. So speaking of knolls, it is K-N-O-L-L, and it was termed by a janitor in Frank Gehry's furniture fabrication shop. And he originally did it just so we could put all his tools out so he could see them all at the same time, and then he started arranging them in right angles, and then he named it knolling after the Florence Knoll furniture designs that they were fabricating at the time, which had a lot of right angles. So that's something for the word nerds. And yeah, so we were really thinking of it as like your collections. Put together your collections. This is a good alternative to some of the signs we've done in the past. Let's see. So here's, we're already here. My goodness. All right, well, is there anything else you want to say about this?
Yeah, I would like to add that on our...
We practiced.
That on our Eureka site, there is a PDF that has all the branding elements. And when I first started this concept, I gathered some inspiration stuff. So it's kind of nice to see some other images. I also created some Cal images, Cal-inspired knolls as well.
So it's also the concept for our first video. This year, we are not going to be doing a cast of thousands video trilogy as we've done in years past. Instead, we're doing a couple of small, hopefully extremely viral video series. So the first one, there's going to be two. There's going to be one that goes live with the February 1st website launch, and another that's part of the thanks phase. And so it's going to start with some really awesome text that is on this piece of paper. So it's going to start with Berkeley is made of so many moments, and then there will be a backpack that's unpacked with items that we're collecting from all over campus that represent the breadth and depth of our community. And eventually it will spell out Big Give and give information on that. And then the thank you video is the exact same concept except with thank you notes. So a variety of different, written on a page from the Daily Cal, falling out of a textbook, an origami crane, and we're going to be really creative with that as well.
And as it mentions up there, it's going to be in a stop motion style video.
Yeah.
That we'll create in-house.
Like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. The video concept number 2, these are meant for social media and also for pushing out via email. They're going to be short, little talking head numbers that we're going to set up a video camera and a tripod and a backdrop at a homecoming event, a place with lots of traffic and not a lot of noise. And we're going to interview a wide variety of our community, parents, students, faculty, anybody we can get that really represents who we are, and ask them what their Berkeley moment is. And make sure that we're being really specific about what was the moment you decided to give to Cal? What was the moment you knew you belonged here? Can you describe the moment you found out your child was accepted? Can you tell us about a moment that could only happen as part of the Cal community? So we're hoping to get a lot of creative responses, and then we can push those out, and everyone will share them. So it is said, so it shall be done. Okay. So you want to hang out up here with me while I go through all these?
Sure.
Yay! I wish I had letters for you to turn. So what happens when? There is a fantastic calendar in the back that you can pick up on your way out that lays these dates out in a linear fashion. But as mentioned earlier, October 6th, the student group registration will end. November 1st, launch gift period begins. Who knows what a launch gift is? We've talked about it a whole bunch. Who knows what a launch gift used to be called? That's right. So yeah, we renamed them to more accurately reflect what they are. Those are gifts that when March 7th at 9 p.m. happens and we switch over to the live leaderboards, there's money on the table. So that's why they're launch gifts instead of seeds. November 17th is a big day for confirming your leaderboard funds for CMT units, registering your hashtags, getting your unit challenges and live events listed on the day of website. All of these links are on eureka.berkeley.edu/biggive either today or they will be later this week, as are all the materials in the back. We'll get to that in a minute. February 1st, pre-event goes live. February 16th, the launch gift period ends. And then there are the dates for the actual event. Hey, it's the toolkit. Eureka, you found it. Eureka.berkeley.edu/biggive. Anybody in this room with a CalNet ID can access it. There may have been some confusion in the past about that. If you can log in, you can get there. It's been redesigned this year, so hopefully it'll be easier to find what you're looking for. It's no longer just a long list of links. So hopefully that will be helpful. Check back often for updates. And everything that's in the back of the room today is also up online. In addition, let's see, what else? So everything that's on the back that will be in the back at the end of the session is up online, plus the branding and marketing overview and mood board that Keegan mentioned. This presentation and the presentation that's happening immediately thereafter will also be up there this week. And here's a list of some other stuff you can look for in the coming months. All right. Here are our upcoming info sessions. Hopefully you're all on the FRC list or signed up in the back, or you've emailed biggive@berkeley.edu and gotten yourself on our list, because we'll email you just enough about all of these sessions to make sure you're going to be there. The Frontline Fundraisers Guide to Big Give, that's a new thing this year. So we're going to take a real deep dive into, and I say I'm not going to, don't worry. Some really smart people are going to take a real deep dive into all the fundraising FAQs and info. Next up, we're going to take a deeper dive into some of these topics for small shops, so that if you have limited time, exactly what you need to know. And then you can see social media and contests and Big Give updates if needed in January. A few more things. Here are all the wonderful people who have been meeting all summer long and into the fall, and starting in the spring actually, to talk about how we're going to do it differently this year and go through all the survey responses. So lots of folks from on campus. We even had a student on the committee this year. And yeah, so hopefully all of your possible wants and desires regarding Big Give have been reflected in this year's plans. I hope so. And finally, to stay in the loop, make sure you sign up on one of these, and we'll tell you all you need to know going forward. So right now I'd like to invite all the presenters to come back, and any steering committee members, I saw Jennifer and Jasmine, if you feel like it, come up and answer some questions. And we'll have somebody running around with a microphone. That's the seal.
Just a quick question about the 11.7 million raised in 2016. That includes launch, yes?
Yes.
Will you guys be blasting out via email to the listserv, or like, you know how donors could opt in to get the Big Give alerts over the years? So are you guys doing the first announcement of the new date?
No, right?
No?
I don't have any plans for that, but that's
The email blast of the new date? Are you guys doing the first one to the Big Give email, as because donors could opt in the first year when we were keeping it secretive, and they can add it each year?
So this year, so we kept it secret the first year because it was a new plan. It was a new campaign. We don't have a plan. We don't have an opt-in on the website this year. We found that folks opting in on the website sign up were minimal to none. So we will be sending email blasts out. When's the first email going out?
I'd have to look on this sheet.
Anybody have the email contest sheet, email info sheet in their hand?
February 27th.
So February 27th will be the first email. We found that urgency is the most important thing with Big Give. When we started really early, we found that there wasn't a whole lot of traction on the website. A lot of our early advertising didn't really seem to drive people. It's such a fast-paced blitz of a campaign that the sort of closer to the event urgency is much more effective, we found.
Hi. So this is my first time here, and I apologize if I'm asking a question that's very basic for everyone, but I'm curious about where the money actually goes, and like, does it go, when someone hits a button, where does the money go to? And second of all, when you talked about thanking donors, how do we know who donated on our center's behalf?
Do you want to take that?
Yeah, I can take that. So, okay, where does the money go? When they hit give, they go to a giving form where they can choose the fund they want to give to. So one of the suggestions we have is if you send out emails of yourself, you might want to send a link that already has your fund wording pre-filled into that giving form. So they're giving to your fund or whatever fund they choose. How do you thank them? If you, the online giving portal has the ability to send notifications to whoever for that fund says they want to receive email notifications that they just received a gift. And so you can use those email notifications to send out thanks.
And I was just going to add to that, I don't have the exact data in front of me, but overall, over the last 3 years, about 35% of the money went to unrestricted support, about 30% went to programmatic activities, and then there was a big chunk going to students and teaching, and then about 9% in capital improvements. So that's kind of how it's broken out by category.
But the contests, which are a big driver of the giving, the contests are based on where the gifts go. And I would suggest that you hang around for the next session because there'll be a deeper dive into how to sign up for those notifications and things like that.
And one last thing, every question is very important to the whole group, so thank you.
I love when people say that because then I'm always waiting for the next question to be completely ridiculous.
Is this on? Is this thing on? This may be in the back on a handout, if so, I apologize. So what constitutes a launch gift? What amount? Is there threshold on that? And then,
I'm sorry. Go on.
like in the past when it was a seed gift, does there have to be a proposal associated with it so that you know that it's a launch gift? But mostly I'm just concerned about the amount. And if it's, yeah.
Uh-oh. Nancy's coming up. Watch out.
I'm gonna get down.
Thank you for that question. So for the launch gifts, it has to be a solicitation of $5,000 or more, and there needs to be a proposal in CAD CRM. You can work with your prospect analyst on that if you need assistance with that. And what we have changed over time is that in the first couple of years, we required that the proposal actually said like big give something language. We've backed off of that to make it a little easier for you. But it's really helpful if there's also a contact report where you document the fact that you have spoken to the donor about that specific proposal and that gift counting as a big give launch gift.
I just would like to add to that one important reason to have that documented in CADs and to have that conversation with your donor is that when they are thanked for this gift, it will be thanked in the full big give context. So you want to make sure that they understand that they're making a big give gift.
Not quite. So the question is, so if the gift that is then made is less than $5,000, it doesn't count. That's actually not correct. If your solicitation was $5,000 or more, but the donor said, this is really great, but at this time, I'm just going to make a $1,000 contribution, that will count. It's the solicitation amount that triggers whether or not it's counted as a launch gift.
Just a point of clarification, the presentation referenced the fund for each unit. And so I'm just clarifying that on the day of Big Give, there will not be a mechanism through which if a unit has multiple funds and donors give to one that's not the specific Big Give identified fund, their gift will not be reflected in the leaderboard until the conclusion of Big Give, right?
I can handle that one. So if you're a CMT unit, you have a primary fund. So if they go to the leaderboard and they click on that fund, the gift will go to that fund. But they can also go to and search for whatever fund they want, and the totals roll up by area of giving. So if they give to a fund that's not your leadership fund, it'll still count.
It'll show. And show.
Yes, and show up immediately.
And I also want to encourage the person who asked about the fundraising question to please come to the October 11th Frontline Fundraiser info session.
So you mentioned that donors who make launch gifts and have their gift complete by the day of February 14th will be able to be eligible for limited emails. Is that also including people that have made pledges, but their gift might be coming in at year end?
Right, so when we say, so the question was, what about pledges made during the launch phase? So when we say a launch gift, that's shorthand. We really mean an outright gift or a pledge or a recurring gift. Those of you who are familiar with online giving know that there's a feature where people can set up, I want to give $50 a month for however long. And in this case, since it's launched, hopefully I want to give $1,000 a month for however long. But any of those will count in your launch totals.
This has been a great session. Thank you so much for doing it. Mine's a real quick question, and it's probably in the materials, but just in case I'm already late. What's the date that we have to give you our fund, that we're the primary fund?
November 17th.
Oh, good.
I just had a question about matching gifts from corporations. Do those count for Big Give?
Corporate matching gifts don't count. And that's not different from last year. So there are a number of things that don't count in the session on October 11th. And in a very detailed handout that we're working on now, it'll have all the specifics of things that don't count. It will also have some nuanced information about research gifts, which count, but they're complicated, and gifts that donors make through donor-advised funds, which can count, but they're complicated because the timing of receipt is something that neither we nor the donor controls. So stay tuned for all of that. But in the meantime, if you have any specific questions like those, you can always follow up with me.
Any more questions? Okay. Oh, one back there.
I was just curious how open-ended pledges were going to be counted this year. Are we just going to count the first payment on an open-ended pledge, or calculate it, how much it would be over the course of a year and count that amount?
Thanks, Cam, for that question. We're going to do both. So in the final big give tally, what will count is a year's worth of payments. So whether they're making them, the donor is making them monthly or quarterly or semi-annually, we'll do a year's worth. But what immediately goes up on the leaderboard when they go online and make the gift is just the first payment. So then behind the scenes, we're calculating what a year's worth would be and adding it in later on, but before we close out at 9 o'clock on March 8th. One of the things you will see again on October 11th in this document we're working on is a much more detailed timeline than we have shared with you in the past regarding how the various updates are working throughout the day and what we're adding in manually, so that hopefully that gives you some more insight into what's happening behind the scenes and will help you understand what is and is not in the numbers at any point during the day.
If there's no more questions, thank you all for attending. I think you all have surveys that we ask you to fill out because we really pay attention to them and try to provide you guys the content that's useful. And then at the back, there's all those handouts, and then they're also online on Eureka is the marketing toolkit. Thank you all. And stay for the small shop if you're new too, because there's going to be a lot more detail that'll be helpful.